Hey, everybody. Good to be back after a little bit of a break there. So, we are going to be playing a game that looked really good from the screenshots. I actually know absolutely nothing about it. We're going to be playing Heartworm. So, I've been doing a decent amount of filming actually for my buddy Jordan's game called Abraxas Garden. The demo is playable. It is going to have a stream release. I don't want to give away any spoilers though, but I will definitely be promoting that when we are finally, when it's ready to publish, which I couldn't really tell you when the deadline for that is. But we are working on it. I am filming scenes for it. It is going to be featuring FMV style 90s and survival horror live action video. I love what they're doing with it. I think it's going to be a point and click adventure game, which I never got to play that many of, but I always really enjoyed whenever I did when they were done really well. Piglet was here. I think he's sitting outside on a cardboard box right now. Piglet is a cat that is not my cat. He is just a cat who visits and is a greedy little bastard and weirdly strong considering he's not that big compared to bigger cats that I've met. But he's taken to, he no longer really claws at me because his claws are massive. But what he now does is he will just, he's purring away and he'll just like nose butt and me on my nose and it feels like a headbutt. But he's very cute, so he may show up. He may come back in. We're not really sure, but I have fed him, as I'm prone to do. But now let's play Heartworm. So this is another kind of classic retro horror survival throwback, and I need to plug in a controller. The things that you would think you would have ready on a stream, that you don't have ready. Right, let's open this up. I'll be right back. Already. Might help just a little bit. I also, I've resolved to not drink for a couple of weeks. Just because. Probably help if I played, content through my headphones as well. Maybe before I miss the entire thing, right? There we go. Now it's through my headphones. Okay. And we'll see if we can summon Piglet. Safe. Promise you there's a cat down there. So this was a great intro to the stream, eh? And now he's thirsty. He's having a little bit of a drink. Okay. Wow, this is very old school. Like PS1 style CG. A little bit ropey, but that's probably my settings, I'd imagine. You know what? We'll put the wire over here. Because those claws are sharp. Okay, well, let's start the game proper. And first, we'll just double check some of the options that we got going on Pig? Piglet? Nah, he's in a mood with me, you know. I only spoil him, I guess. Right, okay. Borderless, pixelation on, dithering on. I guess that's the way that it's intended to be played, so we may as well play it like that, right? No, he's rolling around with his cat and banana. Enough about the cat that you can't see. Let's play the game. Okay, right. So we do have a little bit of a choice here from the looks of things. And let me actually set up my YouTube chat so that if people are, you know, chatting to me, I can at least see it, right? There we go. Right on. Graphics retro or modern? I feel like this game is intended to be retro. Tank movement. Okay. Modern tank. Camera relative. We can always switch it. Aiming. Yeah, we definitely want modern aiming. Tutorials on, subtitles on. Yeah, I think we're probably ready to play. Okay. I did set him to retro in the end, right? Okay. So yeah, I'm on the coffee. I'm suddenly really hot.
Hey. Sorry you haven't heard from me in a while. I've been busy trying to find out about this place. You're not gonna believe me, and I don't even know if I really believe it myself, but I guess a part of me must, because I'm going. It's far, on an abandoned road, a few miles from that power plant in the mountains. It was hard to find anything about it. I started on message boards, and I ended up in a chat room talking with people who know people who know people.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
They said a lot of crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
The one thing that they all agreed on is that in that house, there's a room that can take you to the other side, to see the people that you've lost again. The thing is, no one who's gone has ever come back, and that's why I'm writing you. Not for advice, not to get you to talk me out of going. Actually, by the time you read this, I'll already be there. I just wanted to let you know, in case I don't come back. That way you won't be wondering where I've gone. Either way, you don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm sorry, but I don't have any other choice.
Is it me
I
or
just
is there
can't
a
keep
weird
going
echo?
on not knowing.
Okay. Not a setup like this for a while. This reminds me so much. I don't know if you guys played this. Evil Dead Hail to the King on the PlayStation 1. That was goated. Kind of overlooked. If not an outright Resident Evil clone, but I remember really enjoying that when I was young. Bye, pig. So I've got movement. L moves you around. You can run by holding square while moving forward. If you're using modern controls, you'll always run, and the joystick will control your speed depending on how far it's pushed. Okay. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is pre-rendered background, and you're playing as a sexy kind of 90s early aughts chick. Oh, look at that. I don't need anything else from the car. Camera, interaction and equipment. You can interact with many items in the world by pressing X. Some will stand out more than others. You can equip or use some items you find, such as your camera. After you picked it up, open your inventory with triangle, select camera, and then the equip action. Okay. Will you take the camera? Well, yeah. Cigarettes. Film. I really need to quit. Speaking of, not cigarettes. Way too expensive. This is just outright classic survival horror worship. I miss this. I used to have this leather jacket in like college where it had pockets on the chest, and I felt this is how ingrained this is. I felt like it was expanding my inventory slots, and I visually used to visualize my inventory with whatever I had, with the pockets I had or whatever, like a Resident Evil inventory screen. Little status thing in the corner. We don't get those anymore. Only got them in Final Fantasy and Resident Evil, really. In the status. Yeah, that's good. Okay. 35mm film for a camera. So is this also going to be Fatal Frame worship too? So I'm thinking the inventory pauses the game at least, which is always good. So you want to combine the film with the camera, right? And you can add mods. SLR camera, it was my grandfather's. Okay. SLR. Not oh yeah, not digital SLR, it'd be SLR. Because it uses film. You know, let me know in the chat, what's SLR stand for again? I can never remember. Is it, like a solo lens recorder or something? Single lens recorder? Is that what it stands for? I'm just guessing there. Okay. Cigarettes. So I'm supposing they help with your health or your fear that may be introduced later. Oh, shit. Oh, you can change your outfit. Oh, nice. Any good survival horror game that's trying to have an iconic lady needs for you to be able to change your outfit. And I suppose the same goes for any of the gents in these sorts of games. So, whoa. That's unheard of. It's broken and you can go through it? You know,
Sometimes I wonder if I spend more time thinking about death than the average person. My grandfather died a while back. I know it happens to everyone, but it almost feels like I'm obsessed.
You know,
it's frustrating. No matter what I try, my thoughts always circle back to the one thing I can't control: my own mortality. I came all the way out here not knowing if I'll get the answers I need. I just hope it's worth it.
She even kind of sounds like a goth chick, like the goth chick from South Park a little bit. Janky voice acting, that's what you need in these kinds of games. I still think Tormented Souls and Post-Trauma. Then again, we've only played the Tormented Souls 2 demo, but with tank controls, that would feel impossible to play. But this feels very good. These are good feeling tank controls. It gives the game a certain feel. It's hard to explain. But it may get a little annoying. And you can use the D-pad for the tank controls here, so... Oh, eerie music. I'll tell you about the time when Skype, remember that? I told you about that all. I had this buddy on Skype. He was like my best mate for like 2 years, you know, when I was like 15, 16, 17 years old. And Oh, okay, we're at the old house there. Okay. Piggy's at the door guarding me from monsters. Okay, so we're near the plant. That's cut off. Bridge is out. This isn't the way I need to get back anyway. I'm guessing the front door's locked because it's a little bit like the Resident Evil 7 house. But, you know, an old abandoned house in a creepy swamp. It's the classic setup. Loving it. The windows are all boarded up. It's too dark to see anything through the cracks. I wonder if they're going to play around with light in this game. Because we got a lighter, so almost always. Right. Diary, Pleasure Beach 1. I finally went to explore Pleasure Beach today. It's been on my list forever, and the forecast was perfect, but unsurprisingly, I ended up in over my head. When I got there, everything was pretty normal. There were folks on the shore having a picnic, enjoying the beautiful summer day, and the usual kids messing around on the playground across the street. I grabbed my camera, locked my car, and started making my way across the land bridge. It took maybe 30 minutes to cross, longer than I expected. The island seemed to be completely empty, so I began searching through the abandoned homes, confident in my solitude. Okay. So many of them were destroyed, roofs and walls collapsed from years of disregard. Some houses so decrepit I couldn't even enter. But there was just enough left that I began to really feel bad for these people. They had no time to pack and leave. Family photos were strewn across floors, and belongings were still packed in drawers. I even saw a table that looked like it had been set for dinner, however many years ago. My sympathy turned into suspicion as I ventured further. Many of the houses had the same red graffiti in their attics, markings and symbols I'd never seen before. I assumed it was just from kids messing around, but something about it began to trigger my paranoia. I noticed the sun was setting as I reached the end of the residential area. It was strange. I could have sworn it had only been a couple of hours. The last time I checked my watch before it was noon. It was before noon, but now the clock read 7:30 p.m. I brushed it off as just losing track of time. It was frustrating. I hadn't even gotten to half the town, but I knew I had to head back. The land bridge would be submerged soon, if it wasn't already. Sure enough, as I turned the corner to where I had entered earlier, I was greeted by nothing but the sea. The entire land bridge was underwater. I was stuck and alone. Or so I thought. Nice. That's a, So that's kind of set up. That's some of the lore. This reminds me a little bit of, what was it called? The Brimstone Conspiracy. That 3D audio drama that I put a couple of my friends in, that I made a couple of years back. It got no attention, but it was about, it was from the perspective of different characters, like in real time. That it was an adaptation of a creepypasta that I read, and I was really proud of it. I actually watched it like a few months back, and I thought it was great still. Yeah. Oh. Oh. It's just the clock. Okay. You can't use this here. Huh. Flash. Some areas are too dark to see without help, but you can use the camera flash without consuming ammo by not aiming and pressing. Okay. So the Brimstone Conspiracy was about this drunk dude and his filmmaker friends going into this like town covered in ash. It's Silent Hill, like, but covered in it was like sectioned by the government and the EPA. It's like a condemned town because it's got like a volcano under it that turned it all to ash, and it was completely abandoned. But there's something darker lurking there, you know. Classic setup. Right, so I've equipped that. How do I aim it? Oh. Nice. Well, shit. That camera flash sound is, Pleasure Beach 2. It was darker than any night I could remember. The island was far enough off the shore that there was no light pollution, and in almost no time I was wandering in pitch blackness. It was cold, too. The breeze coming over the water contrasted heavily with the mild weather earlier that day. I didn't have much of a plan, but I knew that if I was stuck, I would have to find a place to stay warm. Made my way back to the houses, which were much, much more terrifying in the night. I turned to look down the street and froze mid-step. I could barely see due to the lack of light. But it looked like another person was standing there, right in the middle of the street, staring at me, motionless. I tried to rationalize, but in this situation, my sanity was already being tested. I called out to them with a strained hello, praying to God that it was just some teenager and not whatever nightmare my mind was conjuring. No response, no movement, nothing. I looked around and noticed some of the windows in the attics of the houses looked like there was dim light coming from them. Candles, maybe? But I'd been here all day. I didn't see anyone. It didn't make any sense. As every possible scenario, none of which seemed to end well for me, raced around through my mind, one rational thought broke through and reminded me, I had my camera. I could trigger the flash on demand without using the little film I had left to illuminate my surroundings. I was so scared I almost didn't want to. What if there really was something there, and using my camera would only alert it to my presence? Finally, I pressed the flash trigger. Everything around me lit up, and I saw nothing. The figure in the road was gone. The light coming from the window was gone. It was just a silent, long dead town and me. The rest of the night was uneventful. I used my camera flash to navigate the ruins, found the closest house with 4 intact walls, locked the door to one of the bedrooms, and fell asleep against the wall. I woke up the next morning and booked it back across the land bridge. I don't think I'll go back to Pleasure Beach. Still more pleasant than Blackpool Pleasure Beach, eh? Or, you know. Did I just say Pleasure Bleach? It's Pleasure Beach. Okay. Oh, save room. How nice. Is someone else here? The room's noticeably better kept compared to the others. Old books and knickknacks line the shelves. Nothing important. Old books? They've even got an item box. Inventory space is limited. Item boxes can store items till you need them. Each item box is connected to every other, so they all share the same items. It's best to only carry what you need. Huh. Why is this here? Would you like to save your progress? That's a good idea. AB. House study. Okay, that's a nice touch. So, we don't really know what any of this does yet. So, we'll come back to that. Roaring fire that looks like it's been recently tended to. So is no one else here? This is nice music. So many books. If I had more time, I would enjoy it here. Yeah, this is a nice bar. Narcissus and Goldman. Oh, yes. It's fireworks. He thought that all men trickled away, changing constantly until they finally dissolved, while the artist created images remained unchangeably the same. He thought that the fear of death was perhaps the root of all art, perhaps also of all things of the mind. We fear death, we shudder at life's instability, we grieve to see the flowers wilt again and again, and the leaves fall, and in our hearts we know that we, too, are transitory, and will search for laws and formulate thoughts. It is in order to salvage something from the great dance of death, to make something that lasts longer than we do. Perhaps the woman after whom the master shaped his beautiful Madonna is already wilted or dead, and soon he too will be dead. Others will live in his house and eat at his table, but his work will still be standing hundreds of years from now, and longer. It will go on shimmering in the quiet cloister church, unchangingly beautiful, forever smiling, with the same sad, flowering mouth. It's a beautiful piece. Why can't I talk when I've got fucking headphones on? Okay. Excuse me. Beautiful bit of poetry there. Classic, I assume. I don't think I'd read that before. But, yeah. Is that a map? You know what? I know we haven't been streaming long, but we will take a break there, and we will be back in part 2.